Here's everything you can do in Minecraft as a shapeshifter. Have you ever wondered what life is like for the Wither? Well, using the identity mod, you can see for yourself. And becoming a Wither will make you much taller and give you a ton of health. But what's funny about this is that we actually can't fly around without attaching an elytra, making us more like the Wither in its melee phase. And this way you can scare away the whole server from their loot so you can switch back to normal and steal their stuff with ease. This is the closest we're ever going to get to having Spider-Man in Minecraft, since by becoming a cave spider you can have some secretly good powers, with the main one being that you're now able to climb up walls, which will let you easily escape caves or chase down your friends that are building away from you, both of which are made even easier by the fact that the cave spider can move even quicker than us. I guess the more legs the better. But we don't just have to become hostile mobs with the identity mod, we can also make our friends happy with a rainbow sheep. And the way that we do this is by unlocking every color of sheep and then quickly switching between them, meaning there's no need to get yourself a name tag to change your name over to Jeb. But there are a couple downsides to this trick, like the fact that sheep have very little health and an awkward hitbox. And what's worse, that wolf that you were friends with is now going to be trying to eat you if you get too close. By transforming into a dolphin, you can explore the ocean in a brand new way, since with this morph you can swim around the water insanely fast, which will allow you to quickly sneak through shipwrecks and find every piece of treasure down there without breaking a sweat. Though once you do become a dolphin though, you will have to commit to that aquatic lifestyle, since as it is, you're no longer able to stay on the surface. Go up top and try it out. After a few seconds, you're gonna have to jump back into the lake to get your breath back. Here's what happens when you transform into a blaze. Now first off, you become a walking flamethrower, since you can shoot fireballs at the click of a button and do it as many times as you can, as quickly as you can, with no cooldown, making you particularly dangerous. And while I wouldn't recommend that you go near water, fire or lava will be completely harmless to you. And since we're a hostile mob, that'll also keep us safe from all other hostile mobs as well, making it surprisingly safe to be a being made out of pure fire. In the past, we talked about dressing up as a creeper to prank your friends, and now we're going to be doing it as the actual creeper. Since with this mod, we could transform into the creeper and then go around using our explosive powers to destroy everything that we see, especially because those explosions that we set off don't even kill us. Or if you're not that destructive, then you can simply hide in your friend's house and wait for them to get back from their mining trip until you give them the fright of their life. Stop attacking things with your fist, since as the frog morph, you can now attack and break blocks using only your tongue. And now we'll be able to jump 3 blocks tall as compared to our normal 1.15. And we can also swim without needing to come back up for air, since they're going to be amphibians. And while we aren't necessarily safe from hostile mobs or other players, with the ability to jump around like this, there's a reason frogs are a slippery target to catch. Ghast might be one of the most powerful mobs you can transform into, as you have all the abilities of the Ghast, including flight, which makes you practically invincible to all the other mobs. I mean, only the skeletons have bows. It's gonna be pretty hard to reach you. But the biggest drawback is gonna be the size of the Ghast. And considering we very rarely have that much of an open floor plan to escape with, that'll force you to stay out in the open. The mob with the best chance to defeat the Wither in Minecraft is actually the cow, since by becoming a cow with the identity mod, it'll give you the ability to instantly remove any potion effects. And that's because of the magical powers of the cow's milk in the game, apparently. So whether you're fighting a Wither or you want to get rid of any effect that your friends throw onto you, say you're levitating in the end dimension thanks to shulkers, then just become a cow and you'll be just fine. Life as an evoker is one of the most fun experiences you can have in Minecraft, since by giving us 12 hearts of health, that already makes it a lot better than being a human. But then having the ability to deal tons of damage to our enemies makes it a perfect combination for any raid that you have coming up. And better yet, you get to use the evoker's abilities all to yourself, which will help us make sure that any players trying to get a Totem of Undying out of us are gonna keep their distance. Although they come from the same place, the Endermen and the Endermites both are very different. And if you manage to unlock these morphs in the identity mod, you'll be able to see so for yourself. But the Endermite can only teleport similar to how a chorus fruit works. But with the Enderman, you control exactly where you teleport, just as if you're using unlimited Ender Pearls. And plus, these Endermen have a lot more health, and they're just plain out cooler looking. And with the ability to pick up any block that you want, you control your friends by making them think that an Enderman's stealing their entire house. The best start to a fresh Minecraft world is always finding a village close to spawn, and then hunting down the Iron Golem before it's able to attack us. But now the shoe is on the other foot, and by morphing into the Iron Golem, you can now go toe-to-toe with them, with our hits also doing an insane amount of damage. I mean, just like this, you could basically 2-hit any mob or player. And unlike the regular Iron Golems, we aren't going to back down from any creeper challenges. Parrots are the happiest mob in Minecraft. Not only can you become a parrot, but you can also dance like one. Just by loading a music disc into a jukebox near you, you can cue that up to now dance in Minecraft. Right now I'm just picturing the idea of opening up a parrot-only club in Minecraft and playing some of the best music in town. It's Strat. It's always Strat. Strat's the best disc in the game. By becoming a piglin and going into a bash, question, you're able to raid the whole thing, with the piglin brutes being none the wiser. Now don't be alarmed, the piglins will start sounding angry, usually because they heard the chest open at your footsteps, but then they'll quickly switch between charging at you and remaining peaceful. I mean, I can't blame them. If I saw someone else on my shift opening up one of the chests and stealing our loot, I'd be pretty confused. But luckily for us, we can take all the netherite that we want and escape completely unscathed. It's almost impossible to tell the difference between an alive shulker and the shulker box used for storage, which makes the shulker the champion of hide and seek. And so if you become a shulker by unlocking into the identity mod, you can easily hide in your friend's base next to the rest of their storage and scare them when they're not expecting it. Or if you want to, just loot the other shulker boxes and keep it inside of your inventory, making you still a shulker box, but one that only we can use. Fighting a witch is a gamble. You're either gonna kill it and maybe get a regeneration potion, or you get blasted in the face with poison, weakness, harming, and even slowness. But by becoming a witch with the mod, we now get ourselves that exact ability. But just like when you're fighting a witch, you can't decide which potion you're gonna throw out. Though if you fall into lava, maybe quickly switch over to the witch morph, and then you can hope that you drink a fire resistance potion, and that way we'll end up safe enough to escape the lava. You can now become the most powerful mob in the game with the identity mod. And now, as the warden, you obviously deal a lot of damage, but you can also use the sonic shriek attack. But be careful, because where you're aiming that, it's gonna be pretty tough, considering the drawback with the warden is that you're not able to see very far in any direction. But don't worry, because while you might be blind, as soon as you play as the warden, it's hard for anyone to think that they can stand up against you. Playing as a snow golem in Minecraft is like living the game in ultra hardcore difficulty. And for obvious reasons, you can't enter into any biome that isn't cold without dying. And not only we're stuck to those ice biomes, but our only attack that we can use is a simple snowball throw, which barely does any damage. And while you'd be better off using anything, even a wooden sword, that's not going to be an option when the snow golem has no hands for you to hold anything anyways. Shapeshifting into the Ender Dragon isn't as great as it sounds, since while you will be able to fly, it's not as fast as an elytra, so don't expect to win any races. And I don't think you'll be caving anytime soon, since it's impossible to fit anywhere because of the giant's great size of the hitbox. And while you can shoot your dragon breath at enemies, it's hard to control. So although it's definitely a flex to become the biggest boss in Minecraft, I wouldn't say it's the most fun to play. How confused would you be if an armor stand suddenly came to life and attacked you? Well, you can give your friends that experience by becoming the armor stand morph from the identity mod. Just break away any armor stands that your friend might have in their home, and then stand there instead with your morph. And the best part is that you can wear any of the armor that you had there before, and it'll look like it's still in the armor stand. And the fact that there's no animations for this makes it look like you can be completely still until it's finally your time to strike. Who would have thought an armor stand would be better than the Ender Dragon? What happens if you were to track down the giant zombie and then kill it? Well, using this mod, that now allows us to become the giant zombie ourselves. And while it's over 10 times the size of any regular zombie, it only has double the health with only 20 hearts. But the plus side is that you can kill almost anything if your big arms can get close enough to hit it. And we can even hold our tools and weapons in hand as well. So if you have a cool trim on your netherite armor, you can get up to size to make sure that everyone in the entire zip code's gonna be able to see it. If you ever wanted to be a phantom, yeah, me neither. But if you shapeshift into a phantom, it's a truly evil way to mess with your friends. I mean, there's a reason why phantoms are agreed to be one of the most annoying mobs that Mojang's ever added. So imagine if we could harness that ourselves, flying above your friend's base, swooping in, and then seeing them react to trying to defeat a fully armored phantom. They're not going to stand a chance, and I really don't think this will do much to help phantoms be any more likable. The Ravager is obviously one of the most powerful mobs you can morph into. And you might think that the Ravager is just a bigger version of the Iron Golem, which would make navigation a lot harder, but the Ravager's attack can actually push mobs away, just like you had yourself a knockback sword. What's weird about this version though is that the Ravager's attack will always push the mobs to the south. It's not exactly clear why, it's making this battle into more of a civil war, but whether it's a bug in the code or there's something to the north that the Ravagers really don't want you to see, it's still useful to get them away. You might think playing as a fish would be hilariously dumb, and to that, you'd be exactly right. But did you ever think about just how small the fish can get? Because playing as the cod can let you just slip into spaces under half a block size like so. Just make sure you're hitting bases underwater, because with only 2 hearts to your name and the ability to not breathe on land, you're not going to be hiding anything above ground very easily. And with that folks, YouTube thinks that you might like this video, so see if they're right and have a good one, alright?